You guys may have seen this picture going around on Pinterest as like clown makeup inspiration, and that's me. I did this look a couple years back, and at the time I didn't really think much of it, but I'm surprised that it actually took off pretty well, and it even got featured on Chappell's Instagram as one of the makeup inspiration or aesthetic inspirations for concerts for European and US tours last year. And now that the whole year has passed and I sort of regret not taking that to my advantage, I think it's finally time for me to show you guys how I did it. So I don't normally do a full base routine when I do my makeup looks for Instagram because at the time I used to do like 3 looks in a day and I wasn't going to spend that much time doing foundation, doing the entire look and then removing it and then doing the same thing over again. So I just went in with concealers and spot concealed. But this time I just wanted to try out this RCMA palette that I got and to really learn and to experiment around with it and learn how to use it. So I'm using this for my concealer and foundation today. So this palette is basically like an all-in-one base palette with multiple shades of base colors as well as some color correctors. So for my main foundation shade, I'm going in with this color. And I put it on an acrylic palette like this. And I'm just taking a small angled brush and working the product into the brush, applying it mostly to the center of my face. And really using the brush to press the product in. And I also took out a slightly lighter color, so I'll be using this to highlight and for my under eyes. But because this look is pretty liner heavy on my bottom lids, I'm not really looking to conceal my under eye darkness really well. I just want to have a really even, and I'm also applying the product on my brow bone area and using what's left on my eyelid itself. Going in with the palette again, and I'll be mixing in some darker shades. I made a shade that's a little more warm than my skin tone and one that's cooler. So I'm using this one for my bronzer and this for my contour shade. I'm just going on my cheekbone area and then using the contour to just lightly contour my cheekbones. I'm putting a little bit on my nose as well. So now that my base is done, I'm just going to set everything with some loose powder. And I'm first setting my under eye and my nose because these are the areas that tend to get oily really fast for me. But basically I'm setting everything on my face because oily skin and this foundation is on the creamier side, so I just want to set everything in place. Now I'm just going to contour my face using my Judydoll palette, but I'm also using this palette to map out the eyeliner shape. So I'm just lightly going over the areas that I placed on my cream contour. And now for my eyes, I'm going in with an angled brush and the same contour powder. And I'm using it to map out the shape of my eyeliner. And for this look, I went with a really straight, long external wing, followed by 3 other pointy ones at the bottom. And that's the main point of the look. And I really like to map out my eyeliner, especially when I'm doing looks like this that requires me to be more precise and requires a lot of symmetry because I'm not going to be wiping all of my base makeup off just to redo this makeup, even though I've done that many times for my other looks. So I want to draw a line from the inner corner of my eye to my outer corner, and I'll use that as a guide for where I want my eyeliner to sit. And because I have a bit of a hooded eye situation, and there's an extra fold on the end of my eye, I thought I'd draw my eyeliner on with my eyebrows raised because even though it pulls the skin taut over here, when I relax, it's gonna look different from what I expect. And I'm going for a really long wing, so I'm extending it to the midway from my eye to my headline. And when I do really symmetrical looks like this, I like to work on both eyes at a time so that I'm able to maintain the symmetry of each point that I'm putting down. And I like to fill in, and I like to use a bronzer or contour color because these kinds of products aren't too dark for my skin, so I can easily wipe it off if I make any errors. Then moving on to my bottom lid, I did 3 different points. So there's one right in the middle, from the middle of my iris, and then 2 on each side. So I'm just gonna start with the middle part. So looking straight ahead into my mirror, and stamping a line, and again looking on the other eye immediately. And then for the other 2 lines, I'm dividing each half here into 2 segments. And I'm not doing it too straight down, I'm trying to radiate it a little bit more than midway. So here, so that it looks like it's a fan shape, it's sort of radiating outwards instead of looking downwards. And then the same thing for my inner eye. So now for the actual line, I'm going in with a liquid liner pen. I do prefer a brush tip liner over like the felt tip ones because the felt tip ones tend to bunch up and peel up when I use them too much. And I'm using the classic KVD Beauty eyeliner in Trooper. So when I do any liquid liner or graphic liner looks, I like to rest my pinky on my cheek just as an anchor point. And I also like to rest my elbow on like a surface or something so that my hand is a little bit more sturdy than it would if everything was just hanging out freely. So for this, I'm gonna go in with the outer wing first. And I try to do it in one line and I vary the pressure so that the end is a point. And then when I'm happy with the shape, I draw a line from the outer third of my outer lid and then I connect it to the wing. So this is the first wing done and I'm going on to my other eye. So I think both eyes look pretty good. So moving on to the bottom lid. Again, doing the same thing where I'm drawing a line straight down before doing anything else to it to make sure that at least the placement is right. It is roughly, but my eyeliner looking like now it's not perfect, I know, but it just needs a little bit of refinement and that's what we'll be doing. So that's what I'll be doing now. So in this case, I'm just looking to see whether the line is straight enough. So this one is okay. This is a little bit wonky, so I'm just using the tip of my brush liner and I'm just making light adjustments to the shape. And I think doing this kind of extended lower liner is a little bit more challenging because the skin on the underside of my eye is a bit more stretchy compared to my side of my face, so I need to be a bit more careful with how I'm applying the liner so that my skin doesn't move around too much. And I'm just taking my time to really map out and refine the shape because I'm not going to be removing the liner that I did beforehand because I can't be bothered. And I'm constantly comparing both eyes to see whether both sides match. I didn't talk much while I was doing it because I was really focusing on getting the shape right. But in general, I just want to get the main middle parts as clean as possible because honestly this is the part that stands out the most in the look apart from the big wing at the side. And now I'm just doing the same thing that I did for the middle wing for the other two sides. And because I'm short-sighted AF, my mirror is really close. I'm trying really hard not to block what I'm doing, but if I put the mirror any further than this, I can't see. So basically on my other two wings, I want to keep the base triangular curved part to be the same as the one in the middle, but my inner part is especially difficult because it's the most floppy part of my eye. So I have to angle my head such a way such that my skin is slightly taut. And after each wing has been drawn on, I just want to connect them both. And then make sure that this arc right here is smooth. After a lot of like fussing around, I'm finally happy with the shape of my bottom lashes. So the next part is just to connect everything together. And the last wing that we need to draw on is the inner corner liner. So similarly to the outer wing, I'm also using the shape of my eye as a guide because I sort of want this wing on the outside and my inner corner liner to connect in a straight line. I'm going in with the liner again. And then I like to draw my inner corner liner to this part of my eye where it's not creasing yet, and then I'm connecting it to the bottom lash line in sort of like an right angled triangle. And I'm using the tip of my brush to really make sure that the outer point is super sharp. I'm drawing straight down to my bottom lash line. And then now I'm connecting the bottom line to this curve. I'm just placing my liner straight near my waterline. And then curving it in. And same thing for the outer wing. I'm just drawing a line straight down and then connecting it to the outer corner. And now just to complete the eye look, I'm going to fill in this corner of my eye, which I mentioned had that extra fold there. Then looking downwards, I'm just feeling the part in. So this is what my eyes look like when I'm looking down. But when I open my eyes, it's sort of like a really thin line on the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm connecting this line to the line we drew from the outer corner. And this is how I get that smooth upper liner, even though I have that extra fold on the inner corner of my eye. And I'm constantly opening and lowering my eyelids to see whether things are smooth and whether things are filled in properly. And an extra touch is to also fill in these areas, like pulling the skin slightly. And then filling in the inner corner of my eye. For my upper lids, I'm not looking to do much to them. I'm just adding on some highlighter and some glittery shadows on top. So I'm using the Can Make Minuto highlighter in 02, which is the pinky shade. And then just applying it on my finger and pressing it all over my eyelid all the way to my brow bone. Then I'm taking my Half Magic Glitter Puck in Dopamine Sparkle. It's a really pretty glittery rose gold color. Again, taking some on my finger and pressing it mostly on my actual eyelid. You can see the amount of shimmer and shine that it brings to the look. This look actually has a couple of important points to it. So first is the eyeliner. Second is actually the false lashes. And I don't know why, but I think that false lashes are seriously underrated, especially when people are doing their makeup right now. Like you can go in for like a lash extension. You know, there are different styles of eyelashes that are available on the market, but there's so much real estate available on the lashes itself. So we need to bring back blinging out our eyelashes, and this is the one that I made for this look. I basically glued on some heart-shaped sparkles on the tips of these lashes, and these are like the more manga style lashes that are pointier and spikier. And I think that using a lash style like this with the hearts on top really helps counterplay the spiky bottom lashes at the bottom. And because I didn't put much eyeliner on my upper lid, I'm able to use the space that I have here to really display the heart sparkles on the lashes. But before I put the lashes on, I do have to curl my lashes and put on some mascara because my own eyelashes take off straight up like that. And using my Judydoll mascara just to hold my lashes in that curl. And I'm not putting any mascara on my bottom lashes because I think that wouldn't be much of a point. I just put on some lash glue on my lashes. But the main thing about these lashes is I just want to basically align the biggest spike, which is in the middle of this lash, with the eyeliner in the middle. Now that my lashes are on, you can really see that by not doing much to the upper lid, I'm able to let whatever's on my lashes really pop and shine. To blend the lash band in, I'm just going to go over everything with the black liner again. So this is how the eye look ends up looking like. So what I want to do now is to stick on the same heart-shaped rhinestone thingies on the bottom 3 spikes. And I got mine like maybe 4 years ago, and I'm still using the same tube of sequins that I got from an arts and crafts store. So I'm just placing some lash glue on the tips. And I just pick up one with my finger, and I just press it into place. I'll just take my tweezers and adjust accordingly. But I want to make sure that the hearts also face directionally according to the angle of the spike. And I'm just using my finger to place it on my face just because these are so annoying to pick up with my nails. Because my skin is slightly tacky from all the oil it's slowly producing, it makes picking them up with tweezers a lot easier. So now I can finally say that the eye look is done, but I'll just move on to the rest of the face. I'm just gonna fill in my brows with a brow pencil and my brow gel, and I'll be right back. And the next key part of this look is the heart-shaped blush. So I'm just using some red eyeshadow, and I'm using my 3 Cheers palette from Hipdot. I'm gonna go in with this brighter, slightly more orangey red compared to this more pinky one. And for this, I'm actually using a fluffy eyeshadow brush, a slightly smaller one than, one that you use for blending. But I just want something fluffy so that I can diffuse the edges out and to get a really nice blurred out blush look. I'm just taking some of the pigment on my brush, and I'm just using this initial pass of color to just map out the shape So I'm not going in and doing a really big heart on my cheek because that would be really hard to blend. So by mapping in the shape of the blush first, it will make blending a lot easier later on. And now that I'm happy with the shape, I'm just going in with the same eyeshadow again, and I'm placing the colour in the center of the blush. And this time I'm also tapping the colour where I want it to be before using whatever's left on the brush to blend the edges. Then now I'm going in with the slightly darker, more burgundy kind of colour. And I'm placing the colour right in the center part. And now for the last part of my look, I'll just be finishing up my lips. So I'm just placing down base colour of lipstick first, focusing more on the middle part of my lips. And then I'm using my fingers to just blend out the edges. And I'm blending the lipstick out a lot further than I normally would. So on the part of my chin itself, on my actual cupid's bow. And I really like blending out the lipstick on my actual skin itself. Make my lips look a little bit bigger and juicier without using like lip liner to overline them. And now I'm going in with a deeper burgundy shade and tapping it on the middle of my lips. And applying it above my actual lip line. And again using my fingers to just disperse the colour across the center part of my lip. And I don't want to bring it out too much because I want it to be a gradient. So this is what the finished look looks like. It's a really simple, casual, everyday Valentine's glam look. And even though there's a lot of things going on in this look, so like the really striking graphic liner, heart-shaped blush, as well as the really dark lip, but because I make use of a lot of negative space, especially on my eyes, it doesn't look like it's too much, even though there's a lot of things going on. And again, more people should be putting things on their lashes. So bring back the feather lash, bring back the sequin lash. So I hope this video helped you out. If you always wanted to recreate this look, here's a tutorial for it. And I really hope that one day Chappell does come to Singapore and I'll be able to watch her wearing this makeup look, because when else will I be able to wear this out, you know, without being stared down at, because I hate attention despite putting myself on YouTube and on my other social medias. So if you liked my video, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, share it with people, and you can also follow me on my other social medias. So I'm carorolee both on Instagram and TikTok. I do have another TikTok account that's more makeup focused now with an extra row, because I shit posted too much on my actual account and now nobody follows me for my makeup stuff there. So I'm trying to rebrand, okay? So I really appreciate it if you could follow me there as well, and I hope to see you in my next video.